Hello to all of our viewers and welcome back to Florida Powerboat Club's YouTube channel featuring the lifestyles of the Florida Powerboat Club members on poker runs throughout the Sunshine State. Stu Jones with you here in the Pompano Beach studio along with our producer Ryan McCoy as we bring you the fourth and final episode with feature coverage of the 10th annual Tampa Bay Poker Run, which was staged September of 2020 after a 6-month postponement on a popular poker run that normally takes place every spring. But we're here in September and the weather is beautiful, so let's get back with our club members. Before we get started, let's say thanks to our sponsors. Florida Powerboat Club's 2020 series sponsors include Deep Impact Custom Boats and their associated brand, Blackwater Boats, Nortec High Performance Boats, Midnight Express Powerboats, Myco Trailers, Performance Boat Center, Mystic Powerboats, Superior Communications, and Mercury Racing Wide Open. In addition to our series sponsors, as seen here on our Tampa masthead, we had DR Performance, who attended as a sponsor with their 32-foot Spectre Cat, and we had Statement Marine on board, our local builder, and they put on a great show here at the Tampa event. Now, if anybody remembered our last episode, we had just wrapped up lunch at 3 different locations on the Manatee River, and the boats now are all heading back through Tampa Bay, and that includes passing underneath this landmark Sunshine Skyway. Going to ride on board now with DJ Cereza from Boca Raton, Florida on his 38-foot Donzi, and riding alongside, that's Luis Sotero from Miami, his first event with this new 38-foot Donzi. It's powered by big 1075s. But what's really cool about this footage, Darius, his buddy, has got this 360-degree camera. We're going to get some great angles as they pass this huge barge over to portside and line the boat up to pass underneath the Sunshine Skyway. Now, I don't know what the excitement is, but I find that every time I go under this bridge, I just love it. I think it's a landmark bridge in Florida, and I just think it's a fantastic photo. Of course, when we get the money shot every Tampa Bay poker run earlier in the day, this is where we gather all the boats up to pass underneath in formation. It's been on the cover of our magazine. It's been in our Florida Powerboat Club calendar, and I just love doing that every year here in Tampa. Looking now to the left, you see Lewis. Now, he's running pretty hard in this 38-foot Donzi ZRC model. It's got twin 1075s and runs well over 100 miles per hour. Now we're on board with Daniel and Ralph Munyon on their new 36 Statement. You can see that they're running 103 right now. That's cruising speed for this 36 Statement with a pair of those very popular Mercury Racing 450Rs, getting probably close to 2 miles to the gallon, which is unheard of in the world of performance boating. And just about 6 or 7 miles from that Sunshine Skyway is the Vinoy Basin, a popular stopover for the Florida Powerboat Club. We used to base our event out of this marina. And a very special introduction to Keith Goodson and his crew on this 50-foot azimuth. He headquarters out of IGY Marina, and he has volunteered to be our card stop number 4 today and has managed to bring along a beautiful crew to handle that responsibility. Dan Raimondi, one of our local guys here in his 34-foot Nortec, picking up his lucky card number 4. One of several Nortecs on the run. In fact, I was very impressed with the turnout. And speaking of Nortec, that's Chris and Kimberly Erickson, not in their Nortec, but in their 35 Contender. That's because their brand new Nortec 390 center console is still in the Nortec factory, almost near completion. And they have promised to have it on our next event, which is the Miami Boat Show Poker Run from Miami to Key Largo in February. Oh, imagine that, more Nortecs. And each of them with lots of bikinis. Guys, this is kind of a common sight on these Florida Powerboat Club events. If this is the lifestyle for you, then you've come to the right place. Leading the charge here, Ed and Jackie Rachel in their 39 Nortec. It's a 390 sport model powered by triple Mercury Verados, and they always put on a great show on every poker run that they attend and have been great supporters of this event. They're from the local area, and they've got another boat. It's a brand new Hatteras that's on order. They're going to take delivery of that any day now. And there's Ryan Foster pulling up for his card, but I'm looking at these beautiful Nortex and this nice azimuth, and my mind is taking me elsewhere because I counted about 13 or 14 bikinis in that frame, guys, and I think I'm about on overload right now. And this brand new front runner, first time on the Poker Run. We saw a lot of this boat in a previous episode. It doesn't get much better than this, guys. This huge center console. Check out that rear facing bench. You know, I could sit on that bench for hours and just stare at those quad Mercury Racing 450Rs. It's truly amazing at just what a great reception they've had in the performance marine industry. And if it's not these outboard cats that they're getting them, it's these center consoles. And now, you know, big cruisers are getting Mercury Racing 450s. So everywhere you look, that motor has just made its way across the industry. Here we are, you know, just in September, just over a year since their launch in Nashville, and they are absolutely everywhere. Well, we just got a nice angle of that Statement 36 Cat looking down the tunnel, and now a nice side profile and a little bit of irony here if I look at that Spectre 32 just going out of frame. And then again now at Brian Hoare with his Statement. Remember that once upon a time it was Spectre, you know, Jay Pellini here from the area. Then that boat became a Pellini Marine that Jay started calling his hulls because he had sold the Spectre brand. And then he sold the Pellini Marine molds to Statement. It was a 34 then, and Nick stretched it to 36 feet and gave these boats some nice custom paint. But it's just nice to see all of it coming back. And that 32 Spectre mold ended up in Ohio and is now being built there and being sold by DR Performance. Of course, now we're looking at this 33 DCB. It's called the M33 wide body. You've seen a lot of this boat. Scott and Monica James have been kind of on a Poker Run crusade with the kids growing up. They're enjoying the boat. They've been all over doing poker runs around Florida, and they've been great supporters of our organization. And continuing our storyline about Statement, our sponsor for this event and a very successful builder right here in St. Petersburg, Nick Buis, of course, starting back with the club in the 90s. He was a mechanic with one of our club members, turned the page forward 20 plus years, and now he's at the head of a major performance boat manufacturer, Statement Marine. And we are going to continue this card segment at Vinoy Basin. While I just share with everybody a little bit of history about this event, it began here back in the 90s, believe it or not. We were at the Powerboat races in the 90s. APBA sponsored a major race here on Tampa Bay area. And the Florida Powerboat Club used to come here, and we actually traveled through the Okeechobee Waterway to come here and be a part of that event. That spawned a series of poker runs in the 90s until the marina was taken out by a major hurricane. I don't remember the name of the storm, but it ruined the docks for several years. And not until somewhere around 2010, and that's about when we hit the restart button on the Tampa Bay Poker Run, which is why we are now celebrating 10 years. So why did the Florida Powerboat Club leave this beautiful marina venue? Well, it's because we just ran out of room. The Vinoy Resort and Marina had about 72 transient slips at one time, which they eventually started selling off as documiniums, and eventually there was no more inventory. Maybe we could get about 20 boats in here for the poker run. Well, we wanted this event to grow, and the answer was to move it to downtown Tampa, and I think that was the best thing we could have done because it opened up so many opportunities in terms of the hotel choices, downtown entertainment, and really docking. Having access to the docking facilities at the Tampa Convention Center, as well as the transient slips at the Marriott, and sometimes we can get some boats in over at what they call the Point, which is where Jackson's Bistro and American Social is. Between those three locations, you know, we can now accommodate at least 50 or more boats coming in for the poker run. So enough about the history of the Tampa Bay Poker Run. Let's get back up in the air and chase down some more of our teams as we get closer to the end of this beautiful day of boating here on this Saturday in September. That looks like Noel and Gretchen Speranza in their 44-foot concept, the boat they've been enjoying for at least 3 years. They came out of a 42-foot Fountain, a really high-performance boat. They went to the outboard center console, and it seemed to give them a whole new outlook on their performance boating lifestyle. Being able to go on more poker runs, a lot of room for all their friends, a nice big cabin forward, and of course the reliability of, count them, 1, 2, 3 of those Mercury outboards. Yes, guys, I know that was trying to be funny. There's 4 of them there, but hey, look, at every once in a while a motor needs a lunch break, you know, takes a day off, but that's the whole point of it. They're running fine with 3, maintaining 50 miles an hour, and they're going to finish the poker run today, getting all their cards and getting back to the dock safely. Let's say hi now to Rufus and Leslie Scott all the way from Georgia. This is a 47-foot fountain Team Obsession. It's powered by triple Mercury Racing 525s. Wes Harlow has been with the club now over a decade. He's from Pensacola, Florida, and now he's enjoying these beautiful conditions on Tampa Bay. And a big shout out to Ryan Snyder, has his family on board with their 38-foot fountain center console Team Deplorable triple Mercury 350 Verados, and they're a local team from Bradenton, and I really want to thank them for supporting the event, because it's nice when all the locals come out to do the poker run. It means a lot to us, and I just want to say how much we appreciate it. So welcome to the club, Ryan, and your family. We hope to see you guys again soon. And catching up one more time with Dan Raimondi and his 34-foot Nortec center console. And once again, I echo the same comments from my previous introduction, because having the locals come out to support this event really gets the numbers up there where they need to be. They make the event more exciting, and it's just a way for the locals to say to FBC, hey, thanks guys for coming to our town and putting on a cool poker run. We're going to be there. And continuing with our Nortec factory video, Chris Villar in his Nortec 390 Sport got a big crew on board all the way from Pensacola, originally a Miami native, but lives way up in the other end of the state, and he's been moving this Nortec around so he can do more poker runs. And some more shots actually in the timeline, guys. If you're paying attention, you're looking at the background saying, well, wait a minute, isn't this the Manatee River? Yes, it is. As we close in on Rob Boucher here in his 39-foot frontrunner center console, the reason that you're seeing the Manatee River in the backdrop is that we split up the content here from the helicopter over 4 episodes, so you guys can get cool shots like this with Ryan Foster in every episode of the show, and that's exactly what we're doing. Ryan Foster now, another local team, his first poker run with the club. Got a couple pretty ladies on back in their matching bikinis. Ryan, you're my man. And for anybody who's counting, that's the 7th Nortec we had here on this Tampa Bay poker run. Pretty strong numbers from our manufacturer based in Cape Coral and Fort Myers, Florida. These are some great shots here as the boats travel down the Manatee River. As we fly over here, we're closing in on Neil and Cindy Campbell, who have been regulars here on this event as long as I can remember, with their 42-foot Mystic. Their team name is Bodacious 2. The original Bodacious, well, it's back at the dock. It's a 74 Lazara. And as we just catch a few more of these high-level aerials on the Manatee River, I want to remind everybody that the poker run is broken down into 3 different speed classes, and that's typically how we run the events. The high-performance class are the boats that run 100-plus miles per hour. The performance class are boats that run from 75 up to just under 100 miles an hour. This 29-foot DCB could easily reach well over 100 miles per hour, but at 29 feet, it's much safer in the performance class, cruising in the 80 to 90 mile an hour range. And we've talked a lot about Statement, one of our sponsors for this event. Brian Hoare now in his brand new 36-foot Statement. It's got a pair of Mercury Racing 450Rs. And these outboard cats are just taking off. Well, literally taking off, but figuratively, because of the trend towards outboards and the reliability of the Mercury Racing, well, 400Rs earlier, but now the 450Rs, more and more people are getting into this style of boat. And you guys that love Donzies are going to enjoy this segment. And I've always said that birds of a feather, well, they flock together. You're going to see a lot of that in this sport. These 2 Donzi 38s now, Darius Ariza on the right in the blue boat, Louis Sotero in the black boat on the far side. He's pushing the throttles forward. He's got a lot more power. Mercury Racing 1075s. Both of these Donzis are extremely fast V-bottoms. And you'll notice also that a lot of higher level flying that we've been doing on this event, that's because we've got a helicopter pilot from Tampa Bay Aviation that isn't quite acclimated to flying with these fast boats. One of his first times flying this kind of an event. So that's fine. We don't mind if the pilot wants to be a little more careful and stay wide, as long as we're close enough to get the boat in frame and to be able to listen to these roaring engines. I know that's all you guys really care about, right? Well, we're going to downshift gears now for just a moment, guys, as we reconnect here at the card stop number 4 at the Vinoy Basin. We just wanted to spread that out over this episode because we had so many shots of the teams pulling up to get their cards now. And there's 2 fountains on deck right now. That was Chris Moore from Texas in his 32 fountain. He just picked up his card, followed by this fountain 38-foot center console piloted by Ryan Snyder, one of our local teams. Now, I don't know if that was a coincidence because I know these guys don't know each other. One's local, one's from Texas. They've never met before, but here they are running around together. Coincidence? I doubt. And there's DJ Sarisa pulling up to get his card. A big shout out once again to Keith Goodson for bringing this crew with this azimuth and all these pretty ladies on the back. And then you match that up with Waylon Joe, his gal Jessica, and her sister, along with our 2 FPC girls, Jocelyn and Chloe. So they really had their A game going. Not to mention, Jessica on board had matching bikinis for our FPC girls. So all 4 girls all matched up in red bikinis. But think about it, this is Waylon Joe's first poker run in his brand new Mystic. He just got the boat. John Kosker brought it over. Greg Weber jumped on board to ride with him. You lucky Greg. And here they are on their first poker run with the girls bouncing around on the bow, and they pull up to this azimuth with this equally energetic bikini crew. This ain't rocket science, guys. I just think it makes for a really fun day. And there's Team Glassstream, represented by Steve Petty, who's a boat dealer here on the west coast of Florida. Glassstream, of course, been a big supporter of the club, primarily up in the north side, along the Panhandle. They've been attending and supporting the Emerald Coast Poker Run for years. And another cameo appearance by Brad Hancock and Captain Pete at the helm. And the only reason I say that is I never know where these guys are, but they just show up, and there they are, and then they're gone again. I don't see them again for another day. And let's say hi now to Billy Gleck, one of our local teams, a guy I've known for, over 20 years at least. And he's been collecting boats in the meantime. Has quite a collection, by the way. Winning the most outrageous boat award. You'll see that later in the show. Twisted Metal was just one of the boats he brought here for the run. That's today, but yesterday, for the fun run, he brought a Cougar race boat that was once owned by Al Copeland, the Popeyes racing team. I'd say that's a pretty nostalgic collection. And from wild to mild, of course, this 30-foot cobia, Gary Easterling, another one of our newcomers here, a local guy, got a whole crew on board today. Thank you, Gary, and to your crew for making this your first Tampa Bay poker run. Guys, if you got a center console with a pair of outboards, bring it, because you can run it, and you are welcome just on the same level of anybody else in this club. This is the kind of boat that can give you endless days of fun where you bring all your friends and never have any mechanical issues. And guys, when I say never, well, that word doesn't exist. So let's just say you don't have them very often, or as often as you might have with a performance stern drive boat that many of us have owned. Now, getting back to the more reliable set, of course, this 38-foot Mystic, well, it fits that bill. Check out this power package. I think we will continue to see a big trend towards these new Mercury outboards, along with the racing products. And let's say hi again to Rufus Scott. He and his wife Leslie, they joined us for the Emerald Coast Poker Run a month earlier up in Destin. Nice to see them all the way down here on the Tampa Bay. They're based in Georgia, so they do most of their boating on Lake Lanier. Back around 2005 to 2007, the 47 Fountain was one of the most popular boats in the club. We saw Greg Tolson in this 29 Sea Hunt in the last episode of the show getting his card. He's in between boats, so we actually borrowed this Sea Hunt so he could be a part of the Tampa Bay Poker Run. Well, guys, I can only sit back at 50 feet away and enjoy the fun for so long. I've got to come in and have my fun, too, with my camera rolling. I'm not entitled to get a Poker Run card because I'm the organizer, but that doesn't stop me from pulling up and faking it anyway, because you know what? The girls don't have a clue. I'm just another boat to them. All I want to do is get that money shot, say hi to the girls, and thank Keith for putting on such a great show. Thanks, Keith. So we are now back on board Project 1080, going to make our way out of the Vinoy Basin as a number of teams are continuing in to pick up card number 4. There's Ron and Elaine Long in their statement center console. And, of course, Mike Drotos in his almost matching 35 statement, as we bid farewell to this famous and very historic Vinoy resort. Off to the starboard side, the fully developed, all-new St. Petersburg Pier with a beautiful building out on the point. And it was just a hop, skip, and a jump to the next checkpoint. This will be number 5 on the course. We're over here at the Gandy Bridge, that we call it. It's right near Tampa Harbor Club and that very popular Hula Bay Club. But sadly, and they claim due to COVID, the management of the Hula Bay Club didn't want the poker run to pull in. They didn't feel that it was going to be appropriate to have us there because they'd be too crowded. But whatever, we got by fine without them, and we want to thank Pat McDonald once again, one of our locals, who came out with his 48-foot ocean yacht to do the card checkpoint. I recall from the last episode, he actually handled the Egmont Key checkpoint earlier in the day, which was fantastic, by the way. We had so many boats there and got some great coverage. We just had a handful of boats coming in here today. A lot of people went straight back to the docks after poker card number 4, but we like to invite people to try to finish the course. And getting to this checkpoint provides you with a bonus card, because we're giving you 5 cards on the course, but of course giving you 1 more when you check in at the party on Saturday night. So that'll give you 6 cards to play with, and of course you only need 5 for poker, but it gives you a chance to pick the best 5 and discard the one that doesn't help your hand, and that gives you the advantage over some of the other teams. But who cares about all that? The real reason is, come on guys, it's more boating. It's another 10 miles of boating on Tampa Bay on a beautiful day, calm waters, light winds, the sun is still shining. And the girls, well, they still have their bikinis on, so nobody wants to miss that opportunity. And when you're an organizer and a video producer like me, you want to get it all. And that's what we're here for. As Mike Drodos and his team pull up, we want to get all of our teams, and we want to capture the excitement of what it's like to attend a poker run. Every boat is different, every team is unique, and the fun is just continuous at all levels. And that's why we're out here, to capture all that excitement. Now you take that and you mix it in with family fun. I've got my entire family on board, Jackie and my 2 boys, and there's Tyler driving the cigarette, me right standing beside him with my watchful eye, Jackie enjoying the ride, and Maxwell, he's 15 and his brain is fried from all the bikinis he saw today. Well, you've got to love those Mercury Racing 540s, and guys, I don't know what I could ever exchange that for. It'll be nice to have an outboard boat one day, but I'm sorry, my Mercury Racing 540s give me the roar and the thunder that I love. And I just make a vow to all you guys out there that love the same thing, that this club is never going to forget its roots. Yes, we love the new outboards, the new center consoles, and of course, we're loving the red bikinis right about now as we finish the day off with some good family fun. There you go, guys. This you can't make this stuff up. We did that was not in the script, but somehow it happened. So thanks to Whale and Joe, and thanks to the FPC girls for giving us some entertainment here on this Saturday afternoon in Tampa. So there ends what has been, I think, a very festive day, very safe day, with a unique mix, an eclectic mix really, of all the different boats and people, whether they're locals like Ron and Elaine Long, or some of the many teams that traveled far to be here from Texas and from Vermont or Georgia. It's fun for everyone and provides lasting memories of these poker run events. So let's now fast forward about 2 hours, maybe 3. I think about 7-ish, we got things kicked off here at Jackson's Bistro. They welcomed us with about 160 guests on the reservation list. And of course, time for my beautiful wife, Jackie, and my son, Maxwell, to check in all of the guests.
Is it hard to have like a hot mom like that?
Well, that might have been the best question of the evening. Asked to Maxwell, is it hard to have a hot mom like that? Oh, I love this club. But I just can't stop thinking about what a great venue this is for a party. Remember that the deck here is all open air, so it certainly helps to comply with the CDC guidelines. We're still in the height of COVID, and the girls, notice how they're standing a little bit apart from each other. Those were part of the rules for our staff. Okay, I'm just kidding. But Chloe and Jocelyn did a great job of greeting all of the teams. It was time to play out their poker cards. We managed to have 1 or 2 monitors with our footage from the day, but certainly wasn't our big show that we like to do with the big screen, but they didn't really have a place for us to put that up. And meanwhile, the Tampa Bay Lightning were in the Stanley Cup playoffs, Game 6. They're 3-2 ahead. So here we are in the heart of Tampa, downtown, their own home team fighting for their first Stanley Cup championship against the Dallas Stars. So I understand that we weren't going to get all the TVs for our poker run videos. We're just going to roll some of the video from the party. We might speed things up just a little bit, but you can see that we had a very festive crowd and a nice setting. I think that Jackson's Bistro always does a nice job for us. The food was fantastic, and some of us wish that bartenders would mix drinks this quickly all the time. We ran into a few complications with our head count. We had reserved exactly the number of poker run attendees that were registered with us, and yet somehow we were about 30 people over, and that's because you guys that register your teams and then show up with extra people and don't check them in with the Florida Powerboat Club. That throws our numbers way off. It throws the kitchen off. We end up with food shortages. They presented me with another bill at the end of the night for almost $3,000 because of the extra food they had to do for these people that had not registered. So guys, hey, this is our living, it's our livelihood, and we respect all of you, so please respect us and follow our event registration protocols. Thank you. So let the fun begin with our awards. First of all, thanking Nick Buis from Statement Marine for putting on a great show. A lot of statements represented here, starting with this 42-foot Ultimate V-Bottom, the boat that started it all way back when, to their full line of center consoles and these new 36-foot cats. Statement put on a great show, and we truly thank them for their support. Robbie Eula from Georgia, along with his friend Dane, have formed DR Performance. They brought that 32-foot Spectre to the event. Their dealership is based in Lake Lanier, Georgia, and we are certain that they're going to see a lot more club members going to this style of boat, and I'm sure that they'll do very well with the sales. It was a family affair for John Kosker and Mystic Powerboats as they joined us, along with a few other new Mystic owners here at the Tampa Run. There's John's brand new 42. That's the family boat he uses for demos, poker runs, and boat shows. And here's our new 38 model powered by Quad Mercury 300s. And we're also going to see a lot more of this C4000, their new 40-foot cat. And accepting on behalf of Nortec High Performance Boats is Chris Erickson, who's a Nortec dealer from Sarasota. Their brand new Nortec 390 is still being completed at the factory in Cape Coral, but meanwhile we had a strong representation, altogether 7 Nortec models here on the run. Special thanks to Brad Hancock and his first mate Pete Waller. They won Best Performance V-Bottom for that Nortec 477 powered by Mercury Racing 1350s. Here's a shot from the recent Emerald Coast Poker Run of Brad hauling ass. And special thanks to Ron and Elaine Long. We gave them Best Team Name for Team All Night Long, which apparently has something to do with his recent testosterone treatments. And a big shout out to Team Joe Jack, that's Waylon Joe and his lady Jessica, for winning the Best Center Console for their brand new Mystic 4200 powered by Mercury Racing 450Rs, and a super paint job with that Nardo gray paint with the yellow trim. I think it looks fabulous. And we had a tie for the best dressed team here on the Poker Run, and we always give the tie to the new guy. Turns out that Ryan Foster was the newest team member, so Try It Now wins best dressed team. Thanks for joining us, guys. So happy to have Billy Glick back with us. We haven't seen him for a few years, winning the most outrageous boat, not for one but both of his boats that he entered. Friday Fun Run, he brought this famous Popeyes race boat from the 80s. It's a 46 Cougar made out of aluminum. Then on Saturday, he did the Poker Run with Twisted Metal, this Fountain Superboat. And a very special welcome to Chris and Tammy Moore. I gave them the Farthest Traveled Award. They came all the way from Texas with their 32-foot Fountain. They said they had a fantastic time, and this will be the last time we see this 32. He actually rolled it off the trailer on the way home, and he's going to be getting a new boat very soon. And I'd like to give honorable mention to Brian Hoare, who really was the rightful owner of the Farthest Traveled Award. Time for me to brush up on my geography, because Brian Hoare is from Superhero, Vermont, and that's over 1,400 miles from Tampa. And it was almost a tie for Best Catamaran. That was between Bo and Tiffany Renfro and with Bill Munyon. But since Bill Munyon couldn't make it to the party, he doesn't know any of this, so we just gave it to Bo and Tiffany anyways. Bo and Tiffany do a lot of Florida Powerboat Club runs in their 36-foot skater, and winning any kind of an award was long overdue. And once again, winning the most enthusiastic crew, Jason and Christy Strauss. They always put on a great show. He at the helm of their black statement, she with her girlfriends in their nice red, white, and blue Trump bikinis. I think they put on a great show, and they definitely deserve the most enthusiastic team. And they were certainly contenders for the Sexiest Crew Award. And their competition was Neil and Cindy Campbell with their lovely crew aboard that 42 Mystic Team Bodacious 2. I'm sorry, guys, this is a tough job to have to choose between these two teams. So I had to rely on the crowd to help me with that decision. And it seems like Neil and Cindy had a lot of friends with them at the party, so that certainly helped. But kudos to both teams. You guys always look great. The ladies always look great, but most of all, you guys always have fun. Best Paint and Graphics is a very coveted award, especially if you're in the business and you paint boats for a living. To get that award is just fantastic. The award went to Jerry Hartman, who was joined by Nick Buis from Statement Marine. And if you look really closely, this boat was completely reworked. It originally had a toad paint job from the early days when it was built about 10 or 12 years ago, but it was completely redone. I love the way it looks. It still maintains its original colors in that scheme, but it's got a lot more going on, and I think it's a fantastic looking V-bottom. And it's time now for our top poker hand winners, starting with third place, which went to Scott and Monica James from South Carolina. They did the event in their DCB M33 Cat. They joined us in August for Emerald Coast, then the Spring Key West Fun Run a couple of weeks ago, and now here in late September in Tampa. That's 3 in a row and taking home third prize. And it was a second place for Craig and Paula Ackerman in their 34-foot MTI Team See Ya. Not a bad showing this year. Back at the Winter Poker Run 2020, they won first place. Later in the year, they upgraded their engines to brand new Mercury Racing 450Rs, and now they're taking second place in the Tampa Poker Run. Not a bad year, guys. And for first place, winning the grand prize, Wes Harlow from Pensacola, Florida, who enjoyed the event on his 35-foot DCB. He's been in the club for over a decade and has been a great supporter of our poker run events. And in a very charitable act to his fellow club members, Wes actually donated half of his prize winnings back to fellow members to register for the Key West Poker Run. So that was 5 club members, $200 each. That was a $1,000 donation back to his fellow members in an act of kindness that we've never seen before on a poker run. So thank you so much to Wes. Well, that pretty much wraps up our 10th annual Tampa Bay Poker Run. Thank you so much to all of our participants and our partners on the event and all of our sponsors who supported us. I think it was a great outcome, and we can't wait till we return to Tampa for our 2021 edition, April 8th to the 11th, downtown Tampa. We're going to stay right here in the studio because we've got a lot of great content coming your way. Our next episode features Nortec high-performance boats. We're going to visit their Cape Coral factory and join them for a poker run called the Roar Offshore, which took place in October of 2020, headquartered out of the Westin Cape Coral Resort and Marina, with cruising on all the local waterways from the Caloosahatchee River to Pine Island Sound and the Gulf of Mexico, where we enjoyed a fabulous day of boating, courtesy of Tron Scow and Team Nortec aboard this brand new Nortec 390 Sport. It's all right here on Florida Powerboat Club's YouTube channel, guys, and if you want to keep getting updates every time a new episode is released, you got to hit that red subscribe button and click the notification bell. Our 2021 season is just around the corner, so be sure to check out the website at flpowerboat.com for all of the details about upcoming poker run events in 2021, as well as membership information. You can follow us on Facebook at Florida Powerboat Club, and you can follow us on Twitter and on these Instagram pages. Thanks to all of our viewers for your wonderful comments on our page, and you guys know who you are, and I really do appreciate that. But if you have questions or comments you want to direct to me specifically, please use my personal email at stu@flpowerboat.com. I check that daily, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. We have got a fantastic year planned for 2021 with members of the Florida Powerboat Club, so stay with us. Meanwhile, we're going to sign off for now. This is Stu Jones along with our producer Ryan McCoy in the Pompano Beach studio. Have fun out there, guys. Be safe on the waterways. Wear your life jackets when the time is right, and always respect your fellow boaters. Bye for now.